The Wildfire Adventures of Thomas the Tank Engine, Episode 4, Wilbert's Wildfire. One day, Oliver was sitting in a siding near the station. He was thinking about his friend Duck, who had gone to the works after an accident. Just then, out of the tunnel came Duck himself. He pulled up alongside Oliver. "Oh, Duck," said Oliver, "I'm so glad you're back." "I'm glad to be back too," said Duck. "It was lonely at the works after Bill and Ben and James left, but now I'm fixed I can return to my little western branch line." Just then, Tom had arrived. He didn't look too happy. "What's wrong, sir?" asked Oliver. "Well," Sir Tom had, "unfortunately, there's lots of work to do, and even with the new additions of Mike, Frank, and Logan, and the return of Bill and Ben, there's still too much work to keep up with. So I've decided to bring another engine to the island. He should be arriving any time now." Just then, a small blue tank engine pulled up alongside Duck and Oliver. "Here he is," said Sir Tom Had. "This is Wilbert. He's going to be helping out with the extra work on the branch lines." "Nice to meet you, Wilbert," said Oliver. "I'm Oliver and this is Duck." "Nice to meet you," said Wilbert. Wilbert backed up, and he coupled to a train of troublesome trucks, and he set off. Duck, Oliver, and Sir Tom Had could already tell that Wilbert was a hard worker and was going to be a great addition to the railway. Wilbert's journey with the troublesome trucks took him to Henry's forest. Wilbert thought the forest looked splendid. He liked hearing the animals in the distance and seeing how green the trees were. His journey through the forest took him around a sharp turn that led to a high bridge. The trucks weren't in the mood for playing tricks today, so Wilbert made it through the forest without any trouble. Although Wilbert had only been on the island for a short while, he could already tell that the forest was his favorite place. Wilbert arrived at Brandon Docks where the trucks were to be delivered. He met Cranky the Crane there. Wilbert was uncoupled and went off to get a drink. After he had a drink, Wilbert then ran for a rest in the shed. But it was only a few minutes until Sir Tom had arrived. "Wilbert," he said, "I have another job for you. There's a fuel tanker that has been left on at a junction, and I need you to move it and take it to the oil depot." "Yes, sir," said Wilbert, and he hurried away. Wilbert found the fuel tanker at the junction. "Come on, you," he said, and he puffed away with it before he could be coupled up. Wilbert rushed to the oil depot. He wanted to get the job done as quickly as possible so he could go out for rest at the shed. Wilbert's journey to the oil depot took him through Henry's forest. Just then, however, Wilbert saw Henry coming the other way. "Watch out, Wilbert," said Henry. Henry reversed quickly and Wilbert slammed on his brakes. But unfortunately, since Wilbert was never coupled to the fuel tanker kept on going, and it went down the hill, off the sharp bend, and smashed into a tree. In a matter of seconds, the fuel tanker had caught fire, and the fire quickly spread to the next tree. "Oh no," cried Henry, "not the forest." "Go get Sir Tom Had," shouted Wilbert. "I'll alert the fire department." The two raced away to their destinations. "Hurry, hurry, hurry," cried Henry. "Go as fast as you can." Henry found Sir Tom Had at Brandon Docks. He was helping to unload the goods from the train that Wilbert had delivered earlier. "Sir Tom Had," said Henry, "the forest is on fire." Without asking any questions, Sir Tom Had hopped on board and they set off. Meanwhile, Wilbert arrived at the fire station in no time at all. "Quick, fireman," he said, "the forest is on fire." In no time, the two fire trucks, along with Star Lily, raced off to the scene of the fire, and Wilbert followed. In no time at all, everyone arrived at Henry's forest. The firemen worked as fast as they could, but the trees were coming down fast. It took quite a few hours to finally extinguish the wildfire, and by the time it was all over, the damage had been done. Trees lay everywhere. There were very few that survived, and the ones that hadn't survived had been burned to a crisp. The bridge next to the forest had also been destroyed by the fire, and so the track would have to be closed. And it was all because of Wilbert. He felt very terrible, and while no one was looking, he slipped away. Wilbert went to the lift bridge to hide. Unfortunately, however, Diesel was on his way to the forest with the breakdown train, and he spotted Wilbert. He chuckled. "You have caused quite a bit of confusion and delay, Wilbert," he said. "So Tom Hat does not like engines that do that. If I were you, I'd be more concerned about myself than the trees, 'cause you just might be scrapped for what you've caused today." And Diesel chuckled as he pulled away with the breakdown train. Wilbert did not want to listen to Diesel, but he couldn't help but believe what he said. Wilbert returned to the forest to seize the Topham Hat. Henry had his cars loaded up with broken, burnt-down trees. He gave Wilbert a glare as he left. Henry, as you may know, liked the forest too, and he was not pleased with Wilbert for starting the fire. Just then, Tom had arrived. He didn't look too happy. "Wilbert," he said. "Sir," said Wilbert, "before you say anything, I'm very sorry. The fire was all my fault. I didn't wait to be coupled to the fuel tanker, and when I came across the bridge, the fuel tanker rolled down the hill, and it came off the sharp turn and hit one of the trees, and the fire started, and it was all my fault. Sir, I'm so sorry." "Now, Wilbert," said Tom Hat, "I know you never meant to cause the fire, or hurt anyone. Let's just be glad that nobody was hurt. No animals, no people. But you must know that trees close to the line are very dangerous, and that safety comes before anything else on my road." "Yes, sir," said Wilbert. I'm sorry, sir." "I will have the workmen reduce the number of trees growing close to the line," said Tom Hat. "And well, we'll just see how it goes, and well, we'll discuss more about this later," said Tom Hat. And so Tom Hat walked away. Wilbert was very sad. Tears were in his eyes. He could not stop thinking about how he had caused the fire and ruined one of the most famous landmarks on the island of Sodor. The next morning, Wilbert arrived at the forest to help clear up the remaining trees. Duck arrived with the first load of newborn trees ready to be planted. "Don't worry, Wilbert," said Duck. "We'll start again, plant new trees, and, well, everything will be all right once more." And despite everything that had recently happened, Wilbert managed to crack a little smile.